John Olsen, the President Emeritus of the Connecticut AFL-CIO, was a participant in the recent Tree of Life trade union journey this past September. John will offer some remarks on that recent trip.
Thank you, brothers and sisters. The afternoon has been long, and I'll try to be brief. Everything has been said, but everyone hasn't said it yet, so therefore I am here. David Good had come to me 2 years ago to see if the Connecticut AFL-CIO would be willing to welcome a delegation from the Palestinian workers, their representatives, to come speak at the Connecticut AFL-CIO convention. I welcome them to come. We really want to be in solidarity with workers all across this nation, all across the world, because that's what's important to us. We've always believed an injury to one is an injury to all. 2 years later, David had come to the Connecticut AFL-CIO and asked if there would be a delegation that would be willing to reciprocate and go and to visit Palestine as a delegation. And I was able to participate in that delegation. We had a great, strong delegation to go over to participate. Now, in a little context of all this, my first trip to Israel was in 1988. I was there in the mid-90s, and I was there July 2001. It was a very trying time, and right before 9/11 of this country. I go back on this trip, and I was stunned. You know, over this period of time, you've seen everything that happened. I did some traveling, not a lot of traveling in the West Bank, but enough, you know, twice into Bethlehem, and enough to go look around and see something for myself. But when I went back this trip, and you see a 25-foot wall with barbed wire on the top, I don't even know what the barbed wire for on the top is. Nobody's going to scale that wall. But it was just astonishing. The roads, the infrastructure, the things that have been put into place over that, you know, it didn't seem like a long time, about 15 years. And I think some of what's happening in this country is happening in that country. After 9/11, I think we've, as a country, have given up some things. And it's what our founding father, you know, Franklin talked about. You know, our concern for security, we're giving up our liberty. And when that comes for us, that goes for the world. We cannot trade the fear of us not being secure by giving up the liberties of our people here or anywhere else around the world. So the labor movement is true to one thing, is to have a strong debate, discussion. There's a resolution that's drafted. I think we're probably one of the first state feds in the country to offer a resolution. It's very controversial about when you start talking about boycott and divestment, because it's about some of the things that we do here in this country, about what we make and what we sell. Caterpillar is made by the UAW, and it's going to have an impact on them. But clearly, this is something that's not new to us. I was there for the you know, the South African boycott and how it came about. And the Connecticut AFL-CIO is not empowered as an organization to take the position, but they are empowered to take a position to recommend to the national unions that they take this up and have that discussion. I'm pretty sure that's going to happen next week at the AFL-CIO convention. It's a remarkable thing for this state to have happen. And let me just say this to the Treasurer of the state of Connecticut. She's empowered as the fiduciary. But it's important that we talk to our legislature, because whether it was the McBride principles that dealt with Northern Ireland, whether it be South Africa, or whether it be this, every time the legislature got involved and they passed and directed our treasurer to, at that time, to get involved in it. So there's a lot of work for us, not only to do with the treasurer, but to do with every state senator, every state representative, and the governor of the state. And again, thank you all for taking the time, and it really, to me, is all about justice for workers. And I guess, I don't know if it ever showed up, but to think that 32,000 people have to get up every morning at 2 o'clock and go to a checkpoint to go through, and I can't imagine what it's like now, because it's gotten a lot worse since we were there 2 weeks ago, and have to go through that checkpoint just to try to make a living to support themselves and a family. That's what it's about. It's not about the politics of this country or anywhere else. It's about justice, and labor rights are human rights, because that's what we have to do every day. We all get up and work. And again, thank you all for being here.